Distinguished delegates, colleagues, anti-Semitism is a scourge on our collective humanity. It has left deep scars that are hard to heal, but we can and must learn from them. Both the United Nations Charter and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights have been nourished by this imperative, to learn how to overcome the hatred and ignorance that drive violence, destruction, and dehumanization. And yet, today, anti-Semitism still plagues our world with damaging consequences for individuals and communities. From the Americas, the Asia-Pacific, Middle East to Europe and Africa, reports of attacks and hate speech have multiplied. Already last November, I deplored the sharp rise in cases of anti-Semitism and also Islamophobia and vicious hate speech since 7 October 2023. People have been attacked, lives have been threatened, homes and religious buildings have been defaced with messages meant to frighten and provoke hate. Inflammatory and toxic rhetoric has been used by irresponsible political leaders, and the flood of hateful language, including on social media, is never ending and abhorrent. This is unacceptable, and we must tackle it together in all its forms. At the Human Rights Council's recent panel discussion on promoting human rights through sport and the Olympic ideal, I called for zero tolerance of anti-Semitism in sport. And during the recent UEFA European Football Championship, the World Jewish Congress and my office hosted a panel discussion in Berlin on combating anti-Semitism in football. But everyone has a role to play here, because Holocaust studies have highlighted how anti-Semitism is very often the canary in the coal mine. It is imperative that states and other actors take steps to address it, as well as all forms of hate speech that weaponize our diversity of origins and beliefs. International human rights law is a blueprint for effective action. It requires prohibiting any advocacy of national, racial, or religious hatred that constitutes incitement to discrimination, hostility, or violence. To address the root causes, we must deliver the full protection of the law to all individuals and communities. Let me again encourage states to develop comprehensive anti-discrimination legislation based on the practical guide that my office has published. Political and religious leaders need to speak out firmly and promptly against all incitement to violence and hatred. Digital platforms must enforce content moderation policies in accordance with international human rights standards. They must have a zero-tolerance approach to anti-Semitism, and they must listen to those who are most affected by online hate speech. Furthermore, I strongly recommend effective initiatives to strengthen social cohesion, compassion, and solidarity. Colleagues, anti-Semitism is not just an affront to Jewish communities, it is an assault on our collective humanity, breeding division, discrimination, and violence. We all have a duty to eliminate it. Thank you.